1,000 adjectives with illustrated examples, numbers 1 to 100. Before starting this module, be sure to watch the introductory video, 3,000 English Words Introduction, which explains how this playlist works and how you can get the most benefit for your English vocabulary and fluency. The link is in the description below this video. Pause the video at any time to analyze the sentence or check words or phrases that are new. Let's start. Oral, spoken rather than written. Oral history is a field of study and a method of gathering and preserving memories of people and communities, often through interviews using recording devices. Oral 2, relating to the mouth. It's good to teach children good oral hygiene from an early age. Symbolic, serving as a symbol or representative of something. Since the time of the Revolution, 1799, Marianne has been symbolic of the French Republic, a personification of liberty, equality, fraternity, and reason. Inevitable, certain to happen, impossible to avoid or prevent, predictable. Back in 2003, the medical journal Vaccine predicted that a major pandemic was inevitable, one that would spread rapidly throughout the world in several waves. Wild, living in the natural state, not domesticated, cultivated, or tamed. By definition, a wild animal lives without any help from people, finding its own food, water, and shelter in a natural habitat. Wild 2, uncontrolled, lacking order, turbulent. This caricature of British Prime Minister Boris Johnson focuses attention on his wild hair. Mobile, capable of being moved or be moved easily. Here we see a mobile home being relocated in New Zealand. Dull, boring, lacking interest or excitement. Why do so many students find history to be a dull and uninteresting subject? Dull 2, not sharp, bright, or vivid. It was a very dull day, and the sky was cloudy and overcast for most of the day. Genetic, relating to genes or heredity or determined by genes, inherited. Sickle cell anemia is a genetic disorder in which there are not enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. Parental, relating to or characteristic of a parent. Sadly, there was a total lack of parental guidance in his life. Angry, feeling or showing anger or strong annoyance or hostility. An angry crowd of protesters gathered outside the Capitol building. Fun, providing amusement or enjoyment. Many believe youth is the time of life in which to have fun and enjoy yourself. Magnetic, relating to magnetism or magnets. Huge circular magnets make the processing of scrap magnetic metals much easier. Magnetic 2, having a power or ability to attract. A person with a magnetic personality often has a Duchenne smile, that is, a natural smile that engages the muscles around the mouth and eyes. Footnote, named after French physician Guillaume Duchenne, who studied the physiology of facial expressions in the 19th century. Strict, following specific rules closely, exact, precise. The Cannes Film Festival is known for its strict dress code, requiring men to wear tuxedos and women to wear gowns and high heels. Efficient, achieving maximum productivity and results with minimum waste. An efficient way to pack a suitcase is to roll and fold soft items like t-shirts, shorts, and some trousers. Lively, full of life and energy. He was in a very lively mood that morning. Mental, relating to the mind and intellectual process. Sleep is essential for good mental health, as it regulates the chemicals in our brain that affect our moods and emotions. Careful, cautious, avoiding possible danger or error. You need to be careful when using a power tool. Causal, related to a cause, acting as a cause. Some scientists believe a vitamin D deficiency may be a causal factor in some cases of obesity. Relative, in comparison with or related to something. San Francisco has a very high number of cars relative to the population, even higher than Los Angeles. Wicked, evil or morally bad. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile is a 2019 drama movie about Ted Bundy, one of America's worst serial killers who confessed to over 30 murders. Wicked 2, Playful and Mischievous. He was well known among his friends for his wicked sense of humour. Wealthy, rich, having a large amount of resources. Mayfair is a wealthy area in the heart of London. In fact, it's one of the most expensive districts in London and the world. Alternative, one of a number of choices or possibilities. Immunotherapy is gaining recognition as an alternative to traditional cancer treatments. Footnote, the activation or suppression of an immune response. Alternative 2, existing outside traditional systems or what is viewed as normal. The phrase alternative lifestyle is often used with reference to people with various sexual orientations, but the term is also used for vegetarians and vegans. Reliable, dependable, trustworthy, giving consistent results. Unfortunately, the bus service in this part of the city is not very reliable, and you may end up waiting a long time. Radical, extreme, drastic, or revolutionary changes, something very different. The State of Illinois Center, 1985, represented a radical departure from the design of conventional government buildings, with open plan offices carrying a message of open government. Slim, gracefully thin, small in width. Many fashion designers have been criticized in recent years for only sending ultra-slim girls out on the catwalk. Slim, too, something small or abstract such as a margin or chance. Although rescue teams continued their search many days after the earthquake, there was now a slim chance they would find anyone alive. Urgent, requiring immediate attention or action. With weather conditions deteriorating by the minute, it was urgent they get back to port. Double, twice as much in size and amount. Double doors gave access to the patio. Luxury, relating to comforts and pleasures, not necessities of life. Approximately 183 million people in the United States play the lottery at least once a year in the hope it will lead to a life of luxury. Extra, additional, more than normal, or what is expected. He shouted to his colleague, "Come round the back, quick! We need an extra pair of hands." Rotten, in a state of decay, often with a bad smell. Unfortunately, the apples he had stored in his garage had all gone rotten and were inedible. Like, possessing the same or similar characteristics. At parties and like occasions, people often end up drinking too much. Hard, solid and firm, not easily pierced. When changing the wheel on a car, it's important to make sure the jack is on a hard surface. Hard too, intense force or strength. It was a hard winter in Washington, D.C. in 2016. Hard 3, requiring great effort or difficult to endure, causing suffering or hardship. Farming requires long hours of hard work. Hard 4. Very strict, without feeling or compassion. Joseph Jackson had a reputation as a hard man, although his son Michael Jackson admitted that his father's strict discipline contributed to his success. Minimal, smallest in amount or degree. Using the shortcuts, she walked there in minimal time. Other. Different from the one stated, or extra, additional. This sister wanted to be in the photograph, but his other sister refused to pose for the camera. Stupid. Showing a lack of intelligence or common sense. Foolish. His girlfriend said, "Don't do that. It makes you look stupid." Kind. Helpful to others, considerate, friendly. Fortunately, the elderly lady found a kind man who showed her the way. Obvious. Easily seen, understood, or recognized, lacking in subtlety. It's obvious the occupants of the car must have been seriously injured. Safe. Free from danger or injury, not exposed to harm. She missed the last bus, and although she didn't feel safe, she had no choice but to walk home. Net. A final result. In bookkeeping, what is remaining after all deductions. After his first month of trading on the Forex, his net result was a loss of $500. Right wing. Related to the right wing or conservative or reactionary section of a political party or system. The Daily Mail is seen as Britain's most right-wing newspaper. Chief. Highest in rank, or the most important or influential. In Europe, chorizo is a fermented, cured, spicy smoked sausage, the chief ingredient being pork. Artistic. Having a creative skill, sensitive to and appreciating art and beauty. She is hoping to make a living out of her artistic skills. Fatal. Causing death. American actor and cultural icon James Dean died in a car crash in 1955 at the age of 24 after he sustained fatal injuries, including a broken neck. Confident. Feeling or showing certainty about something. Robbie Williams is a performer who oozes confidence on stage. Spiritual. Relating to religious or sacred things, not concerned with material things of this world. Millions of people are searching for a spiritual meaning to their existence. Handy. Easy and convenient to use, readily accessible. A food mixer is such a handy tool to have in the kitchen. Rational. Based on logic, reason, and good judgment. When her sister didn't appear, she tried not to panic and kept telling herself, "Don't worry, there must be a rational explanation for this." Mean. Not kind, cruel, spiteful, or miserly with money. As brother and sister, they could be very mean to each other, a definite case of sibling rivalry. Lone. Single, solitary, without a companion. There was a lone skier coming down the mountainside. Unexpected. Surprising, not foreseen or expected. The heavy shower was quite unexpected and caught many people by surprise. Powerful. Having great power and strength. A hippopotamus has a very powerful bite, exerting 1,800 pounds of force per square inch. Severe. Harsh, strict, something very bad. This is a picture of Brooklyn Bridge, New York, in the Great Blizzard of 1888, one of the most severe recorded blizzards in American history. Lonely. Awareness of being alone with no friends or company. After the death of his wife, he seemed such a sad, lonely figure. Middle class. The social group between the upper class and working class, including professionals and business people. Although John Lennon wrote the song Working Class Hero, his childhood home was actually in a middle-class suburb of Liverpool. Bodily, relating to or belonging to the body. Grievous bodily harm, abbreviated GBH, is a term used in English law to describe severe wounds and harm to the body. Deadly, causing death, lethal. One of the world's worst industrial disasters happened in 1984 at a pesticide factory in Bhopal, India, where a deadly gas leak injured over 500,000 people and thousands died. Territorial, relating to a specific territory or area or ownership of such. Cats are territorial animals, and while their aggression is usually directed at other cats, it can also be directed toward dogs and people. Enormous, very large in size and amount. Pumpkins can grow to an enormous size. Influential, having or exerting great influence on someone or something. Marx, left, and Engels, right, authors of the Communist Manifesto of 1848, are regarded as two of the most influential figures in the socialist movement. Optional, left to choice, not compulsory. If you visit Hallover Beach, Florida, be aware that clothing is optional. Note, a nude beach can also be called a clothing optional or free beach. Catholic, including a wide variety, universal, including or relating to all humankind. Looking at the variety of books on his bookshelf, you could say he was a Catholic reader. Respective, relating separately to each of several people or things. Reagan, Thatcher, and Gorbachev, leaders of their respective countries, shaped world events during the 1980s. Notorious, well known or famous for something bad, infamous. Pol Pot was notorious for his involvement in the Cambodian genocide from 1975 to 1979, which resulted in the death of 1.5 to 2 million people, nearly a quarter of the population. Destructive, causing destruction or great damage. Hurricane Katrina was a very destructive Atlantic hurricane, which caused over 1,800 deaths and $125 billion in damage in August 2005. Sexual, relating to or involving sex or sexuality. A flirt is a person who acts as if they feel a sexual attraction to someone, but without any serious intentions. Feasible, capable of being done easily or conveniently. After one day in his new job, he realized it just wasn't feasible to answer every single email. Enjoyable, giving enjoyment, pleasure, or delight. He spent a very enjoyable afternoon just pottering around the garden. Compatible, able to exist with another without problems or conflict. As a couple, they seemed quite compatible. Resident, living in a particular place, often for a long time. Daniel Morel from Haiti was the resident photographer for the Associated Press for 14 years. Central, situated in or near the centre. Since 2003, cars and motor vehicles entering central London during certain hours are required to pay a congestion charge. Central to, of the greatest importance or having a dominant or controlling influence. Exploring the rules of colour was central to the work of Elena Guro, Russian artist and poet. Yellow, of the colour yellow between green and orange in the spectrum. A room with yellow furnishings can create an atmosphere of optimism, laughter, and sunshine. Single, not accompanied by anyone, only one, also not married. He said, "I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you still single?" Underground, located below the surface of the earth. The world's first underground passenger railway started in 1863 in London, now simply known as the Underground or the Tube. Dear, loved and cherished, viewed with great affection. Although it is many years since they worked together on the set of Friends, Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox regard each other as dear friends. Supportive, providing assistance, encouragement, or emotional help. Kirk Douglas was always supportive of his son Michael's acting career. Aggregate, formed of separate units collected into a whole, a total. At the end of the financial year, the accountant calculated the aggregate expenses for all departments. Eighth, number 8 in a series, one of 8 equal parts. He missed the bullseye by 1/8 of an inch. Slow, not moving quickly. Sloths are extremely slow animals, moving on average about 37 meters or 41 yards per day. Junior, describing a youthful person or being lower in rank, or distinguishing a son from his father when they have the same first name. Here at Yellowstone National Park, we see Ranger Mayeko swearing in a junior ranger. Profitable, beneficial, useful, or in business, making a profit or financial gain. Dealing in scrap metal can be a very profitable business. Calm, not excited or showing strong emotions, motionless, undisturbed. A bomb disposal expert needs to keep calm at all times. Optical, relating to sight, vision, and optics. The photographer created this optical illusion without using Photoshop. See explanation below the photo. Functional, designed for a specific use, practical rather than attractive. Generally speaking, meeting rooms tend to be functional without regard for aesthetics. Polite, behavior that shows respect for others, showing good manners. Her boss was very pleased with her as she was always polite and helpful to the customers. Swift, happening quickly, moving with great speed. When the driver in front stopped without warning, he was swift to react. Unclear, not easy to see, hear, or understand, confusing. It was unclear to many pedestrians whether they should cross the road or not. Administrative, relating to running a business, institution, or organization. Although she was a teacher, she found she had to spend many hours each week on administrative work. Delightful, very pleasing, charming, or beautiful. It was a delightful evening, so they decided to take a walk by the sea as the sun went down. Healthy, having good health or contributing to good health. They always start the day with a healthy breakfast. Innovative, featuring new original ideas or methods, creative. Frank Lloyd Wright was one of the most innovative architects of the 20th century. Smooth, even and regular, having a fine texture, not rough. She used a hand cream every day to keep her skin soft and smooth. Smooth too, free from disturbance, calm. She suffers a lot with seasickness, so she was very relieved it was a smooth crossing. Violent, using physical force to cause damage, injury, or death. Even for a Tarantino movie, Kill Bill Volume 1 ranks as one of his most violent movies. Continuous, unbroken or uninterrupted in time or sequence. According to UK traffic laws, continuous double yellow lines at the side of the road means no parking. Ample, of large size or amount, plentiful, more than enough. It's a bit tight for cars, but there's ample space for bicycles and motorbikes. Delicious, very pleasing to the senses, especially taste. Called the king of fruits, The mango is considered by many to be one of the most delicious fruits in the world. Long, having great extent in space or time. It looks like he has been waiting a long time. Neat, orderly, clean, well organized, tidy. Whoever hung out this laundry must be a very neat and tidy person. Neat too, not diluted or mixed with other substances. When asked if he would like a scotch on the rocks, he would always reply, "No thank you, I always drink my whiskey neat." Nervous, worried, anxious or apprehensive. This was his first skydive, and to say he felt a little nervous is an understatement. Curious, eager to learn something, inquisitive, prying. Do you know of any animal that's more curious than a cat? Curious too, strange or unusual. As he entered the village, he had this curious feeling that he had been there before. Identical. The same, exactly alike, equal. Suburbia can be quite uninteresting with rows of identical houses. Tremendous. Extremely large in size, quantity or intensity. The power of the sun is tremendous. If you could take a pinhead-sized piece of the sun's core and put it here on Earth, you could not safely stand within 90 miles or 140 kilometers of it. Well done! You've completed the first 100 adjectives. To get the maximum benefit from this vocabulary, repeat this module each day for 7 days until you have instant recognition of these adjectives. For the next module in the series, check the playlist link in the description below. Has this video helped you? Hit like now and/or share it with your friends. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon and choose all to be notified when there are new videos.